We've got our guy Brian Baldinger joining us right now. Baldy, how's it going?
Things are good, guys. Let me square myself up here. Things are good right now, especially if you're any fan of the Broncos. I mean, that was some performance on Sunday.
My goodness, wasn't it? And Baldy, I saw you were at the game. I was at the game too. We both got to see the weather conditions there. And because of the weather, Bo had a really bad statistical game. I gave him a pass because of just how bad the conditions were, and he got the win, did enough to get the win. As you heard, Todd kind of just laughed at me giving him a pass for that. You were there. Does Bo get a pass? And if not, how concerning was Bo's game for the future?
Well, he made the only touchdown throw of the day. There was a Hall of Fame quarterback on the other side that couldn't do it. So he did make the touchdown throw. They put together 2 drives in the second half. Look, 60 yards, nobody's going to get excited about throwing for 60 yards. He didn't turn the ball over. It was miserable conditions for both teams. They overcame whatever issues they had. The defense is playing lights out, good football right now. Don't screw it up. The running game took off. I think Bo feels like he helped win this game for him. I mean, it's not. Look, you're not going to put these stats up against anything, but they've just won 2 in a row. They haven't been home in 2 weeks. You go to West Virginia in between the game, you see how good Tampa is right now and what they just did to the Eagles. I mean, this is impressive. I mean, as a team, and they'll build things up, over a period of time. But that's, 2 wins is 2 wins.
Yeah, we've been having a pretty heated debate about Sunday's game. And I'm trusting you to decide who's right here. Somebody on the show says that
it's me.
Bo Nix was just as good as Aaron Rodgers was on Sunday. And 2 of us, which now you know it's me and Todd, we think that Aaron probably outplayed Bo. Not by as much as you'd probably expect from a Hall of Fame quarterback, but I mean, the numbers are the numbers and the throws are the throws.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, you couldn't put a drive together. I mean, one drive together and finish in the paint. I mean, that's the miscommunication between him and Garrett Wilson or Xavier Gibson or, Tyler Conklin it's almost inexcusable. So, the 13 penalties, it was a bad day, a terrible day for the Jets. Mm-hmm. But, I thought Aaron bounced balls off the turf. I didn't think he played great. It helps that, Patrick Surtain just threw a wet blanket over Garrett Wilson most of the day except for one throw. I didn't think he played great at all. I think Aaron would say they didn't play great. But, he dropped back 52 times, and they sacked him and hit him and chased him. And, he wasn't particularly good on the move like he was the week before against the Patriots.
Baldy, you talk about this game, and a big factor in the game were the sacks that Aaron Rodgers took. Now, Bo, for the second week in a row, didn't have any sacks. What has changed about this Broncos offensive line to where they're being able to hold up in the pass so much better than how they were?
Palczewski's been good. He's great. He's been good. He didn't have a mistake the other day. They played well as a group. I mean, look, when things do break down, I mean, that's a pretty good front that the Jets had. They had, 14 or 15 sacks coming in. Will McDonald had 5. I think he hit Bo one time the whole day. They completely, tore apart the Patriots the week before and had 10 days to get ready. But Palczewski's been good. Him and Quinn have been good together. The tight ends, whether it's Atkins or whoever it might be on the outside, have helped chip and kind of helped protect. So I think it's been a combination of things. But look, you have to take your hat off to what Alex is doing at right tackle and how solid he's been in these 2 games.
So then, Baldy, I gotta ask you, especially Sean Payton's a guy that if a young player plays well, he earns a job. If Palcho keeps playing like this over the next few weeks, when McGlinchey gets healthy, does McGlinchey stay on the sideline? Do you try experimenting Palcho at left tackle? Like, what do you do here? Because I agree, he's playing great, and when he stepped in, the offensive line has played much better.
Well, I think Sean will play the hot hand. I know, McGlinchey is a big free agent and makes a lot of money, but Jaleel McLaughlin's earned his keep on his team. Jaquan McMillian has earned his, this place on his team. Sean has a great history in the past of playing guys that weren't highly drafted, free agents. Pierre Thomas comes to mind. Also came out of the same school that Palczewski came from, Illinois, and helped win him to a Super Bowl. And that's when they had Reggie Bush. Now, he's going to play the guys that aren't making mistakes, that are playing good football right now. And Palczewski's playing good football. So I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I think the kid's going to. He looks like he's a former wrestler. He knows how to use his hands. He ties guys up. Like, I don't know. He looks like a good right tackle to me in 2 weeks. But I mean, we'll see. Like these young guys, sometimes confidence can leave you as quickly as it comes. I don't think it's going to happen to this kid, but that's a decision to be made down the road when McGlinchey does get healthy. But if he keeps playing like he is, he's not going to get replaced.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you think about this Raiders pass rush. It seems like, just based on a bunch of the numbers, that this is probably the second best group the Broncos have seen this season, behind the Steelers.
Well, I mean, they played without Max Crosby for the first time in 5 years
True.
last week. And they harassed Deshaun Watson like crazy. And everybody, Adam Butler, Christian Wilkins, Tyree Wilson. I mean, you look at the guys that rush the passer, you got to go look, you got to study some of the names real hard because they're way down in the depth chart, but they got a chance to play. The thing that they did last week against Cleveland, now Cleveland's offensive line is busted up pretty good, a rookie right guard and backup, left tackle. I mean, all this stuff is out there. But they played like Max Crosby. They played Adam Butler was awesome in that game. They blitzed really well. And so, to me, that's the only way that the Raiders can win. They just have to out hustle you because they're not going to out talent you. Now, I don't know if Max is ready to go. He told me last week, high ankle sprain. He's got to get healthy. He can't limp through the season like he did week 3. So I don't know if he's in or he's out. But regardless, they played really well without him, and I didn't think that was possible.
Baldy, I look at this game as like a defensive game where it'll probably be the best defense that plays on Sunday is going to win the game. Do you feel that same way, or do you feel like the Broncos have some opportunities and some mismatches that they can take advantage of on offense?
I feel like it's going to be in the hands of the defense. Like, I don't know how many defenses are playing better than Denver's right now. It starts with their front. I mean, Zach Allen has been outstanding. DJ Jones, like the rushers, the secondary is excellent. There's not a weakness in the secondary. Even replacing Singleton last week, was amazing what they did. I feel like, I know what the Raiders are capable of doing. They got 2 tight ends, can go get the ball. It doesn't look like Davante. I don't know what the situation's going to be. But they don't look like a particularly difficult offense to defend. They got a couple runs last week that they couldn't get the week before, which helped a little bit. But I feel like this is defense all the way. This thing could be 16-13. It could be really low scoring. Maybe a field goal decides the difference right here. But I feel like this is – I don't know that Denver has that much of a mismatch, be honest with you, anywhere. So I feel like this is – although they did run the ball better in the second half last week, so we'll see if they can do that a little bit. But I feel like this is going to be a low-scoring game in the hands of the defense.
Baldy, you're talking about just the Broncos defense, how good they've been from the pieces they brought in, Zach Allen, to then replacing guys like Alex Singleton, who is a key piece of this defense, and still looking just as good. Is this all credit to Vance Joseph and the job he's doing? And is he coaching the best football of maybe any coach in the NFL right now?
Yeah. I mean, who knew who Justin Strnad was last week? Who knew? Like, I didn't know that he could go in there for Alex Singleton and play like he did, but he did. Somebody's getting the next wave of guys ready to go. I don't know that maybe Chris Jones is playing better than Zach Allen is right now, but I don't know really too many guys on the interior of any defense playing as well. They're very coordinated. They're not giving up big plays. I was talking to some of the guys on defense before the game, and I'm just kind of laughing about some of the matchups that we might see, and you can't get a whole lot looser than what Denver's out there doing. Like, they feel very, very confident, but you go up and you talk to Surtain, you're like, okay, are you going to see Garrett Wilson every play? We're going to see him enough. but like they're just loose. They're just loose and they're relaxed. And you feel like whatever preparation that went in through the week, they're ready to go. Like they're ready to take the test. I met Jaquan McMillian for the first time on Sunday. I've been talking about him for a long time, but that kid is a great football player, and like they're taking advantage of their opportunities. I feel like Vance has got this thing completely coordinated right now, and you're not seeing breakdowns in the defense, and that's the big thing because you're on the road 2 weeks in a row. It's loud, it's bad weather, all the conditions that are out there, the heat in Tampa, the rain in New York, all kinds of excuses could be made for communication errors, and you don't see it, and that comes straight from Vance. He's the one that's got to make sure this thing is all coordinated.
Yeah, you brought up Justin Strnad. Because he played so well, you have to keep him in the starting lineup, right? Because last week they brought in Quan Alexander, they brought in Zach Cunningham. Like those are two good veteran linebackers you could put on the field. You have to keep the hot hand going, though, right?
Yeah, I think. Look, first of all, Quan Quan's been a good player. He's probably on his 5th or 6th team right now, but he stepped in and played good football. There's no question about it. And Cunningham came to Philly last year and played some. Like I feel like their best football is behind them, but you got to have some backups ready to go. Like I don't know how much of the defense they're going to learn, how quickly they're going to learn it, but I wouldn't take him out of the lineup right now. Like the kid played great on Sunday, so you can start getting some of these guys ready to go. It's a lot to digest in the heat of the battle at that position. For guys that are coming in off the street and they're learning a new defense, it's just a lot to digest. And like I don't think Zach Cunningham ever really learned the Eagles' defense last year when he came in. He came in during training camp, but I don't think he played great. They didn't play great at linebacker. Like I'd go with the kid that's been there all off season, preseason, got a chance to play and play great. I wouldn't make any changes right now.
Baldy, as this defense continues to roll, is it wrong or too early for Broncos fans to start looking at the schedule and looking at winnable games, or should we just take it one game at a time and see how this thing goes?
Take it one game at a time. but I do think this, though, Ty. I think this defense is for real. I really do. I really feel like the way that they pack it in up front against the run, the way they open it up when you got to get after, whether it's pressures or coming off the edge with the variety that they have, the way that the back end is playing together, I feel like no matter who they play, you just saw really what they did to Tampa and then what Tampa did to the Eagles last week. Like that's a pretty good barometer because they're a good offense. And they've got legit wide receivers that can sting you anywhere on the field, and they didn't do it against Denver. So I feel like wherever they have to go, whoever they have to play, they can keep the score down. And if you keep the score down in this league, it then comes down to turnovers, taking care of the football, playing field position, kicking field goals. Then it's in Sean Payton's hands to make good decisions throughout the game to give you a chance to win the game. So is it too early to look ahead? I'd say yes, but at the same time, I feel like the one constant you have on this team right now is I feel like the defense is going to show up every week.
Baldy, final one for you, and yeah, I've been looking way too far ahead, building the playoff path for the Broncos, but I'll listen to you. I'll take a step back. I'll go one game at a time here, and the Broncos have lost 8 straight games to the Raiders. Does that end this week?
I feel like it does. I didn't know that they had lost 8 in a row because the Raiders haven't been great either the last 4 years. So that's pretty remarkable. But I feel like this is their best chance they've had. Now, obviously the offense has got a long way to go, but I feel like the defense is going to show up, and I feel like they got a great rookie tight end that they got to contend with. They got a gutsy quarterback. They got a new left guard that looks pretty good in there for the Raiders. I feel like this is a good shot for Denver to end this streak.
Boom. I love it, Baldy. Thank you so much for joining us. Love your insight. And maybe we'll be talking about a 3-game win streak for the Broncos next week.
Be happy to do it. I'd love to do it. Love watching Vance's defense play right now. They're on top of it.
Boom. And we love talking to you. Thank you, Baldy. Have a great weekend.
Bye, guys. You bet.